Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Milwaukee. Welcome to Real Radio. I'm David Bowen, executive director, and I got some of my partners in good here. We got Bryan, we got Nisha. Oh, good morning, community. We are WM, and we get a chance to get a highlight from Motor Education Week. Yesterday, we what's the other name again, Bryan? Yeah, I'm not sure. A lot of yeah, that was a good time. And I got two expert canvas operations gurus. I started to think like we were talking about earlier, like when's the last time you were on board? And canvas like that. Uh, I feel like we paid our dues. So like we're in a different position than the youngins. Technically everywhere we go, we probably still the youngest people in the room. Yeah. 19, 20, no, maybe 14. 14. Okay. Oh, y'all already got kids. Some kids. Yeah, we still young. To be honest, my first like job, even both past written, I probably was like 8. During like the election time in November, we just passed our list, got paid $20 a day. That was probably like my first interaction with like election. I got you. Yeah, so there we go. So y'all know what good quality. Yeah, that's all I'm trying to say. Like, I just want to make sure that it's time to like vet them. Even if it's for a little campaign, registration, candidacy run. Like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Set up a good team. That's all I want. I know we have missed some legends. We got some really good yesterday, but I wanted to reach to highlight some amazing people in our family. Just their transition. It's always hard. We all got different things happening in our lives. But, no matter what happens, you always still get a chance to know the stories of our lives. So, yeah. So this past couple of days, I lost two great ups back to back. My aunt Patty, my aunt Sally, they both transitioned, and especially my aunt Sally, she got so many kids. It's definitely like a run in our family. I just want to give them a shout out and just blessings to be just had them as family as aunts and learned a lot from them. Man, she got a lot of kids, a lot of grandkids. So she definitely left her mark on this earth for sure, for sure. So yeah, I just want to shout them out and just shout out the family. Prayers for our family. It's tough, but we definitely gonna get through. Absolutely, condolences. Is that the Martin family? So it's the McAfee, Carson family. Yeah, it's a lot of names. Yeah, it's a lot of names. So like my grandma, brothers and sisters on McAfee, some of them got married, and how they put so many names. So yeah, so the McAfee and Carson family. And just highlight one thing that you love about them. Man, they cook so good. Like that side of the family, like when you go, when it's time to eat good. They taught a lot of my cousins how to cook good. Like they probably like got the best food that I ever tasted in the food. No shade to nobody else, but their soul food, like they the best cookers for sure. So, like recipe. Yeah. I passed it down for sure to their daughters. So I got some cousins who like that. Yeah, a lot of food, really good stuff. Like we do. This is that time where once you take those, grandparents, grandma, taking those recipes and really sticking around. Oh, yeah, talking about the grandma. Oh, you better get the recipes now. Yeah,
I don't know if I don't think she brought them down. I know she taught her daughters, and their daughters taught daughters. So we they passed it down, but I don't think they got it written. I think it's all in here. But I'm gonna tell them y'all not right.
Yeah, we got to. We got to.
Or somebody got to record them.
Record it.
That's another thing. My mom would never like she couldn't tell you how much it was. She'd just be like, just ask for it. Just like that's enough. And you'd be like, Mom, I'm trying to
you ain't
record
measuring it.
Yeah. You see it.
so it is a teaspoon. Like put in enough, man. Like okay.
The measurements are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta taste it. Okay, I gotta put a little bit more.
Like they said with the ancestors, it'll be like a little bit more. That's what or that's enough. That's
It's something about actual, you know, going out.
Yeah.
So I know all the years, the season, I was just
me too. Yeah.
Salt,
Yeah.
with flavor, the whole high blood.
Yeah, I like to say I don't measure it though, but I know when it's too much, it's too much.
You gotta find the steps. A lot of people like see a whole bunch of soda.
Yeah.
All the in the Black American culture, but American culture, Black American culture, we use Lowry's,
Sodium.
you get the
Now
low
we got high blood pressure.
Yeah,
more healthy.
And diabetes.
exactly right. Yeah,
I'm gonna make sure
you gotta have it pop.
I gotta have it pop.
Yeah,
for sure.
You're right. Yeah.
But then your cholesterol.
High cholesterol, blood.
All that. Not done. Food segment is done. Already.
Man, you made me hungry this morning when you eat that granola bar. I'm like, dang, I'm hungry too.
Yeah.
We got to red Bryan a little bit. He left the whole staff drinking.
I need that green tea, man. I was on this little green tea. Pretty good. Shout out to y'all.
So it's voter education week. Y'all are experts in this. Y'all have been engaging voters for years. And we got some amazing guests that will join us in 1 or 2 minutes. But I want to give y'all a chance to kind of just talk about your origin story. What fueled you to build a passion? Be like, you know what, I have a role, I have a place.
Well, okay, so I told you when I was younger, I was just tapping out with vote. And as I got older, some of my close friends were murdered. I had got involved in campaigning against violence with Biko and Quad and a lot of the campaign against violence work was based around voter education and voter engagement. So that's how I started to get deeper into voter education. And also, one of our guests here today, that's my uncle. He always been, into voting. I always, heard him talk about it. So yeah, that's basically how I got involved with it.
I'm way newer than both of y'all. So my registration passion for it probably came younger. So that's why but a lot of cool civic engagement things. I went there to school to that was the next round So that's is I take it serious. Yeah, and I see this. So all of us take seeing how serious it is now. People actually out here work and actually care about colleges, city rights to actually care about the community, make sure that people understand the community. So that's why I take it serious. I mean, not to knock the other jobs, but it's not just talking to folks, you know, other people to actually understand the community.
That's cool. So we got some amazing guests, and we got a family connection in the room. So we wanted to make sure we highlighted that. You know, Wisconsin Voices, we all about family, and we have man. I've come across these two individuals throughout the community pretty early in my tenure. I know I met Terrell Martin at least when I was trying to volunteer for the Obama campaign at the time. And I knew a number of people that were working with him throughout those years, 08, 07. And just seeing, you know, this amazing brother in the community doing really good work politically and getting people engaged. And then I had a chance to cross actually Paulina Gutiérrez. I crossed your brother's path because he was a DJ and he was doing amazing things for True School years ago. So I definitely met him when I was a teenager too. So I'm so thankful that we have members of on the commission side of the City of Milwaukee Election Commission and consider still new executive director Paulina in the building. So thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely.
Glad to be here.
It's National Voter Education Week, and no better people in this city could we have in the room to talk about how we make sure we do more and highlight the good things that are happening right now. So first off, how are things going right now at the Election Commission?
Sure. Thank you for inviting me. And yes, I have known you for a really long time. So I was appointed in June of 2024. We have had record-breaking elections since then, breaking the history of elections. It's Milwaukee's new normal. In November, we had record-breaking turnout. And obviously in April, it was so big, we had a pretty big ballot shortage issue. We don't want to ever experience that again. So the team and I have been working on what we're going to do. And for April and August elections, we are doing a 1-to-1 ballot order, which means every registered voter is going to have a ballot. So we need people to come out and vote. So we can sense the excitement. We can sense, I don't want to say fear, but the anxiousness of having your voice heard. And so Milwaukee's coming out. I mean, we've seen in one district, we saw a 14% increase in voter turnout in April. And that's April. The last election we had, which was a Supreme Court justice from Milwaukee, was 38% turnout. This last election, we had 49% turnout for a spring election.
Wow.
Just to give some context to that, I have some data here from the ward.
Give us the data.
In spring of 2022, I'm looking at Ward 2, which is on that north side of Milwaukee where we had the ballot shortage.
Okay.
In spring of 2022, there was 31 people voted in that spring election.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In spring of 2024, which was right before the presidential election, 55 people voted in that election. This last spring in 2025, 175 people in that ward voted. So that shows you the difference in the growth of people coming out to vote. And what we have to do is make sure we do everything we can to maintain that for this 2026 election.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because you're starting to see maybe a groundswell of people saying, you know what, I want to be a part of this. I want my voice to be heard. I trust the process. And I'm going to participate. And I think for a while we kept hearing like, oh, people aren't voting. Oh, it's Milwaukee. Y'all not voting. Y'all not doing things right. But there's some really good synergy happening right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think is the cause of the increase in engagement?
Well, one thing is what's happening in Washington, D.C. right now. People are sick and tired of being misused and mistreated by the government. And the only way to change that is to get out and vote. We must get out and vote to change the directory of what this country is going through right now.
Paulina, what would you say as you're a year plus on the job? I'm 100 days in over at Wisconsin Voices. Give me some insight of just like what have you noticed of the lens that you bring to this role, and the mayor trusting you to be the head of that ship, and what do you think is causing that surge?
Yeah. So just a bit of background. Both of my parents are immigrants from different sides of the world. For some reason, they chose, Wisconsin where it's cold, but Milwaukee's been my home, born and raised.
We say the same thing about my uncle too. How'd you end up picking Wisconsin?
Yeah, it's cold here, but I make do. I just wear a lot of sweaters. But the reality is that most, if not everyone in our department, are born and raised in Milwaukee, MPS proud. People here are motivated. And so when you think of the people that come into work and work long hours, I mean, it's all day. The November election, I think we were up for 30 hours. We do this because we love our community. We do this because we need to protect democracy. And I think I'm sensing it out in our community as well. I mean, April showed it, and I'm going to do my best to never let the ballot shortage happen again. We heard you loud and clear. We're going to be ready. But it is clear that, especially around young people, we've been bringing in summer interns. They want to do more than just work election day. They've been helping us even before and after the election. So there is an energy out there. We need to harness that and protect it and make sure it gets heard on election day. And we have 4 elections in 2026. It's February, April, August, and November. And so that's the thing people have to remember. It's not just in November. There are elections happening every year. And those local elections, that's what impacts your alderman, your school board district, your mayor, your treasurer, your city attorney. Those are the people that have a pretty hard impact on your daily life. And those need to come out as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, I was just enjoying the interview.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't have that. I was enjoying the interview.
I don't want to leave y'all out.
Yeah, not yet. I had some questions earlier, but then they flew away. I was just thinking about. I was telling her what you said was just a great sound bite just for the city. So
Thank you.
So, yeah, absolutely. Sure. I what y'all do is great work, and it's serious work, and just from Bryan Sanders right here. Thank y'all for the work that y'all do, and Wisconsin Voices out, of course. But for me directly, just thank y'all for the work y'all do. I know it was a lot, and a lot of people were shaken by the issue for the north side. But I'm just happy to hear that it's going to be more back to what we think it should be, which is everybody can get in line and not feel frustrated to leave, like they were saying back in what was that? What was that spring?
That was spring.
Yeah. I know everything's been going fast. Excuse me.
But everyone who was there, who stayed in line, was able to vote.
They were able to vote.
We did not turn anyone away.
Lovely. Yeah.
If a person left on their own, that's because they left on their own.
Yeah.
But everybody who stayed there was able to vote.
And that's what I heard too. Yeah, that's definitely what we heard.
And that's important to remember as a community member. If you're in line, you have the right to vote. If you ever found issues, you give us a call. We're going to right the ship.
Absolutely. So as you highlighted, there are 4 major elections happening next year. What would you say are the top things every Milwaukee voter should know right now to prepare?
I think it's really important to make sure that your voter registration information is up to date. There is a website that's really easy to use, myvote.wi.gov. You can take a picture of your ID, you can enter all your information, and that information will come to us and we can get your voter registration up to date. That is so important. So anytime you have a name change, anytime you move, your information changes, get your voter registration up to date. We also offer early voting, in-person absentee voting 2 weeks before the election. You can come in at any of our locations before the election and vote. If you are unable to make an election day, you can also get your ballot mailed to you. So we are doing the best we can to offer you opportunities to vote. Please don't ever feel worried or embarrassed about calling us and ask questions. I mean, we have to demystify this process. If you see us out in the community, come stop by. We bring our machines to all events now, so you can try our mock election and vote for your favorite Milwaukee food and Milwaukee team. So we are here to serve you. We are a small but mighty team. So when you can't get a hold of us, our partners like Wisconsin Voices, like All Voting is Local, all those groups out pounding the pavement, they are our partners, and we're here to support whomever and whatever we can to make sure Milwaukee gets to vote.
I know Terrell is going to hit us with that good data, but I was going to say 40 million people across the country have moved already. And as you talk about like being aware, if you need to re-register, if you need to make sure everything is up to date, do not be afraid to make sure that you get your registration in.
And let's do it early.
Yeah.
Let's not wait till the last
election
minute
day.
or election day. Let's do it early.
You sound like me at the airport booking my hotel. You know, like I'm kind of on the, where am I going again? Oh, okay, I'm at the airport. What am I doing again? I'm going to DC. Oh, man, I need a hotel. I'm just booking it right there. You don't want me to do that?
No, I don't want you to do that.
You want me to get
I
it
want
done
you to
early?
get it done early.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So you ready to take one in? Can we grab the first break? You good, Debbie? You ready for the first break?
We can go to the first break.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it, y'all. We'll be back on Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices, alongside the crew, Be a Voice Radio and WNOV. Sorry, I thought I went out for a second. My bad, Jermaine. All right, we'll be back.
AURN. I'm Jimmy Jackson. If you're wondering how safe your state really is, a new report might have some answers for you. Health just released its annual ranking of America's safest states, and Vermont came out on top. The study went way beyond just looking at crime rates. Researchers measured assault per capita, how much residents lose from climate disasters, even economic factors that affect safety. They broke it down into 5 categories: personal and residential safety, financial safety, road safety, workplace safety, and emergency preparedness. That's what Vermont, the safest states of Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, and Utah. According to Mullen, what makes these states safer isn't just no crime with the roads, it's also strong economies that keep people from falling into financial trouble, plus high workplace safety and disaster preparedness. The report also reports out that people in these states deploy watches and more just firefighters and EMTs at higher rates than other states. Where you are in Jackson.
Here's your updated forecast. A blend of clouds and some sunshine developing today. Lingering showers early on. High near 65. Tonight, mainly clear, low near 46. Sunny on Wednesday. High near 60. Wednesday night, mainly clear, low near 48. High 62 on Thursday. Lots of sunshine. Thursday night, clear to partly cloudy, low near 48. Friday, high near 65. I'm meteorologist Alberto Lockwood. High near 60. The Voice.
Remembering what we stand for at Wisconsin Voices, we remember what we stand for. Check out our movement dedicated to empowering citizens and shaping the future. Engage with us on our website, social media, and podcasts to make a difference. Visit wisconsinvoices.org. Explore our events calendar, like and subscribe to us on social media. Listen to recent podcasts and radio, and subscribe to our email newsletter. Amplify your voice and be a voice today.
Wisconsin Voices' 3 pillars are protecting democracy. Your vote is your voice. Wisconsin Voices works to protect democracy in Wisconsin by fighting voter suppression, promoting voting rights, and ensuring fair elections for all. Teaching advocacy. Teaching advocacy empowers and educates advocates in Wisconsin by offering training, resources, and support to enhance their skills, fostering a more informed, effective advocacy community for social and economic change, building community. Wisconsin Voices build strong communities for a healthy democracy by collaborating with diverse partners, creating networks for positive change, and fostering a sense of belonging and common purpose. Learn more about Wisconsin Voices by going to wisconsinvoices.org. Learn more about what our partners are doing by visiting the events calendar. Listen to recent episodes by going to our podcast and radio. Get involved today.
860 AM 106.5 FM WNOV, The Voice.
Next to your voice radio with Scott Voices. You're here.
bread. It's supposed to be at like the law. It's all good. So, as we talk about during the break, misinformation is people are either taking information from uncredible sources or in, sources that are intentionally trying to spread misinformation. So it's one thing to say, okay, well, it doesn't tell me. This is how it was. As another thing to be like, okay, I got a text message that told me voting day is this day, but it's not the wrong day. It told me to go vote here. Or matter of fact, it said there's no election today anymore. We expect that there will be some efforts around misinformation. Is that a concern for you guys? And something we can do about it?
One thing we could do about it is make sure you have a reliable source. And also check yourself. Don't let anyone just tell you anything. Go out and do the research yourself and find out real. I know the election commission will be putting out factual information if you really want to know from the election commission office. We will tell you the facts. Do not believe everything on Facebook, Instagram, and all the other sources. Search for yourself and find out before you spread.
And that's a good point too. I'm sure the election commission is also on Facebook. Also,
we're reliable.
You're a reliable
We're
source.
reliable.
Absolutely, I appreciate that. Because yes, there will be things that we will see where it's like, yeah, you don't want to trust them. You don't want to hear from this random source out of nowhere that has a real vested interest in
you being able to participate in the democracy that you should have access to. They are deliberately attempting to try to get you to give up on using your right to vote, using your chance to have your voice heard.
That is exactly 100% true. And my experience has been that most people that are doing this are not from our community, not even from our county. There are evil forces trying to dismantle democracy. And one of the most successful ways they have been doing it is through the mis, dis, and malinformation campaign. One of the things I learned quickly, and I'm not on social media personally at all, I've given it up. I'm a much happier person. But if you are logging into a system that you don't have to pay for, you are not the consumer. You are the consumed. And that algorithm wants you to be angry. That algorithm wants you to be scared. That algorithm wants you to believe whatever it's given you, because that's how it keeps you scrolling all day long, because that's what they want. That's how they make money. You are the consumed. So we are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're not on the Twitter, whatever that is now called. Yeah. But we are, our website too is a great place to start off. And, we get calls all the time because, as you said, David, it's true. There are people getting texts saying, hey, your ballot isn't here, or you can't vote this way anymore. And we ask, call us right away. We will investigate and follow up as soon as possible. It is difficult though, finding these powers, right? Because they're not from here. So it's not like it's a building or it's a person. It is a network of people outside of our community who know the power that we hold, and they're trying to take it from us.
And also, there are some organizations that have good intentions, but sometimes that good intentions present wrong information. Like some organization will mail out ballots or register to get your ballot or vote here, and people be thinking that is how they can vote, which is not true. So be aware of the mailers you get in the mail. Be aware of everything. Make sure you vet whatever you say and do.
Yeah, we when we was doing some training, just go back to what you were saying, Paulina, we learned about so many of these organizations that are like they focus on, and when you said the evilness of it, it's really evil. They go around and they look for organizations. That's why so many of the ones that are backing these voter registration organizations that do voter registration, they have to hide themselves because they get attacked by these random groups. Like you said, you be doing a voter registration program in Midwest, and some dude out in Oregon is trying to dismantle you sitting from a computer, and then he flies out, and it's crazy some of the things that you've seen in some of the lies that's out there. So yeah, I totally agree. And even what you were saying about the misinformation and people trying to be, have we seen that too as well, where people think they're helping and getting people registered to vote, and they're actually confusing.
Yeah,
people.
confusing people.
Yeah. Learned that a lot in the trainings over the years, the last 2-3 years for sure.
Yeah, and because voting is complicated, right? And some things were created to be complicated on purpose, right? Again, it's a constant dismantling of people power, particularly here in the city of Milwaukee. We are a target because we are a strong voice when we unite. And as long as they keep keeping us from doing that, they're going to be in power. But we do offer training, right? So we've had groups like, that are interested in doing more in voter registration, like organize it. We can do it online now. Like we have videos. We're creating a community website that we hope to kick off in 2026, where all these flyers will be in information so that people have it. And we are the reliable source. So anytime you got an issue, call us. We have a strong team. You can email us. We're going to respond, because that's our job, is to make sure you are empowered with the information you need so that you can vote.
Yeah. And if you see me in the community and you have a question, just ask the question. If I don't know the answer, I will find it and get right back to you.
Yeah. Are people stopping you in the grocery store and saying, "Hey"?
Sometimes
I call them all
brother
the
Terrell.
time. I know I call him all the time. A lot of times I do like poll protection work, and if something going on, I call him right away. Like right away, like up. And he walk me through whatever I need, or if he can't get, if he can't, he'll figure it out and get back to me. So he's always helpful when it comes to that.
That's really cool.
Because on election night, when those ballots was short, my phone was blowing up. We was at a meeting and both our phones just blowing up. And, well, we know people telling us. So yeah.
Make sure that no, that's great. Are there any common like myths or like things that like people will hear and they think it's true but it's not?
I think part of it is the process, right? This process is transparent. Every ballot counts. Every eligible ballot counts, right? We make sure that people aren't trying to mess with the system. Elections is not run by just one person. It's run by over 3,000 people come together. They take an oath. They are dedicated to this community. They're your friends and neighbors. And so they're working really hard to make sure that every eligible ballot counts and that there aren't any cheaters. And so after an election, we check every single vote and make sure it's legitimate. And if there are any issues, we will investigate and report when necessary. And so every eligible ballot is scanned and tracked. Voter registration is always updated. This is a legitimate system, and anybody in the city of Milwaukee and frankly in the world can come and observe the process on election day.
Yeah. It's actually interesting that you said that, because depending on where the source is, there are even people that are in elected positions that will try to throw doubt on the process. And mail-in voting for one. You got certain people, we're not going to say who, are saying don't trust mail-in voting. Don't trust they'll lose your vote if you put it in the what's the box? The drop box. So we got to throw those out. Like, don't go in that route. Are there some ways that we can help assure people, just because it's maybe a newer process that many folks aren't familiar with? When I vote on election day, I just like the feeling of being in the building and filling out the ballot myself around my neighbor. So I usually take that route. But are there some things that we can assure people with the newer processes that actually are secure ways to vote?
For sure. So for drop boxes, for example, we actually had them back in the day, and then the Supreme Court stopped it, and then the Supreme Court brought it back. And, we follow the best practices established federally and by the state. And what people should know is that the city of Milwaukee, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but we are really good at managing elections here. We're so big. We're not allowed to fail, obviously. And when we do, we make things right. But because the world is watching us, we are a battleground state. It is important that our process is transparent, secure, and fair. And so, for example, drop boxes, they're under 24-hour surveillance. They are a specially made box just for ballots. It's a little tiny slit. Only, ballots can go in there. They're picked up multiple times a day. All of our people swear an oath. We have thousands of people plus observers. Like, this is a community event that is, magic in the making when you see people get together from all walks of life, from different parties, Democrats and Republicans, come together and work to ensure that democracy is protected and that it's done in a fair, free, and transparent manner. So anytime anybody has questions, give us a call, come on down, talk to your legislators. Like, we are here to help and demystify the process, because there are no secrets in elections.
And also with the drop boxes, the people that's complaining about the drop boxes, if you watch them, they only complain about the city of Milwaukee. They don't complain about the areas where they're people who they want to get elected. They don't say anything about those drop boxes. It's always focused on the city of Milwaukee.
And just to add, I mean, drop boxes are amazing, because I don't know if you all know, but sometimes the mail takes a little bit longer than it should, especially in the city of Milwaukee, unfortunately. But when you put it in the drop box, that ballot will be counted. And drop boxes are open until 6 p.m. on election day. That means as soon as you get that ballot, you can just throw it right in and know that it's coming to us, because it's going to get picked up that day.
Are drop boxes like in specific locations?
So we targeted areas, which is based on best practice, in public, well-lit areas. So they're at all of our libraries. And Martin Luther King, the new library, just got their new drop box. So we're excited to have that. And we have one at the City Hall complex too. So we have 15 across the city. So in every part of the neighborhood in the city of Milwaukee.
Okay. That's good
so
to know.
beneficial. I mean, they help my family directly. Two people that raised me well. I like to say, no, they use them all the time, because my grandmother, she can't go to the polls like that, and she has to use a drop box. I have my grandparents, there's siblings across the country, and the ones that live in spaces that do allow drop boxes. Another one that's here, my great uncles and aunts. So yes, they're definitely beneficial for my family, and I can say I've seen it used multiple times. So thank you for that question too, Disha.
Yeah, great question. And it's fair to highlight that the City of Milwaukee Election Commission has an interest in everybody being able to vote, not just if they have a certain political side or just Democrats or just Republicans. There is a vested interest in across the board. And you have a commission, right? That's made up of folks on both sides of the aisle.
Yes, it's 2 Democrats and 1 Republican.
And you get a chance to lead, making sure that your oversight over the election commission, and you have a good team there with Paulina, and they're doing everything they can for all voters.
Yes, our commission, we work good together. It's a nice group. We work great with Paulina and her team. There's never nothing hidden from us or nothing that we can't go look at. We work hand in hand, and it's been a great job. I've been there since the fall of 2020. Okay. I was sworn in.
And I just want to talk a little bit more about the commission. So we are unique in the state of Wisconsin because we are a first-class city, the largest city in the state. We have a appointed election commission, and the makeup of that body is determined by the party that won in the last governor's race. So Milwaukee tends to be a historically Democratic city, which is why we have the 2 Democrats and 1 Republican appointed to that board. And their job is to certify and canvass the election. Their job is to make sure, did a candidate do all they're supposed to do to get them access to the ballot? So they are in a public process. So anybody can come to this meeting and watch, Commissioner Martin, Chairman Martin, Commissioner Ruiz Cantu, and Commissioner Haag do their due diligence. They serve 4-year terms, and they help legitimize what we've all been doing. So that's another set of eyes that is making sure the elections are run fair and secure.
Could you tell about your contest?
Oh, yes. One of the most exciting things that we are so happy, first time ever, we partnered with Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS. And let me tell you, myself and our deputy, Marisha Harris, MPS proud, we are creating an I Voted Early sticker contest. This is so exciting. I love every submission that we've had. So we've got 4 categories. Please check it out on our website. Talk to MPS. They are promoting it with their schools. It involves elementary school, middle school, high school, and adults. And so the winners are going to be voted on a public forum on our website. Stay tuned for that. And then these stickers will be printed as they are drawn for the 4 elections that we have next year. So it's a pretty big deal.
Cool. That's really cool.
Brian always asks about youth engagement, so I was waiting for his youth engagement question right there. That's major.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was right on time. Look, I wasn't even expecting I vote early, so this is to draw it and see how
how the sticker will turn out.
Yeah, I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
the requirement is it has to say I voted early. It has to be an original piece.
Mhm.
You shouldn't do any trademarks.
Right.
Just I know everybody loves the Milwaukee Bucks, but
Right.
you can't put that on there. And yeah, they'll be printed for each election, and some of them are super exciting. Like I hope people go run into early vote to come get their stickers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know they will be definitely. We
Yeah.
like to show off be the first one to show off all the new Milwaukee stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I like
How many
that.
designs actually get to be a sticker?
If I'm not mistaken, it's 4
Okay.
that we'll
Okay.
have out there.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
cool. I think that's a good way to engage
With a
young
city
people
full of
and artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
City full of
shouts
artists.
out to all
That's
the
nice.
collector
But you can't
listeners out
collect
there.
all 4.
People want all 4. I was gonna say that.
You gotta,
Right.
you
People
gotta
want to be
pick
able to
one.
get all 4. Y'all
Well,
might have to have like
If you go to
Yeah.
every election
There you
and
go.
vote once, you
time.
can get one
Oh,
each
yeah,
time.
each time.
Yeah,
But
there you
yes.
go.
So you
There you go. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It makes a better incentive, and it reminds me of the all-star voters that I always had a chance to connect with since my earlier days being elected and working in campaigns. There are folks that like it is second nature to them. They always vote. They always know the process, how to do it, and then you got newer people coming to that process. So having an engagement opportunity for young people to connect art with civic
Yeah.
engagement and voting is huge.
Yeah, that's
Great partnership.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to get the high school. That's kids that's turning 18 while they still in high school. Get them registered to vote.
Yeah. A question that we usually get are around, like from listeners or from the public, is around electronic voting. I wanted to see if I could just pry your mind on sharing why that has its perks and why it has its setbacks, because there are some folks that are like really much believers. They think that will be an even easier process, but I know there are some challenges there.
Yeah, I mean, we are very much a balanced state in terms of voting on paper, or you can go to in-person absentee voting where you actually select your candidates on the screen and then it prints your ballot. Then those ballots are fed into a machine that tallies it. And so then what we do is after election night, all the work we do to make sure that every eligible ballot counts is we look at the paper and what's in the tally system electronically.
Yeah.
So you remove the paper part. That takes away another level of security. There are some states that are implementing similar items, but we don't have control over that. That's the state legislature. And, the state legislature has its own issues in moving some new legislation forward. But the issue is we do paper ballots. It's another way to make sure that what goes in the machine is what was on that ballot.
Yeah. How many people y'all got counting these votes? It got to be a lot of y'all. It gotta be a lot.
Especially at a central count, right?
Yeah. Well, let me just tell you, for a first-class city of our size, we have, including me, 11 full-time staff, which is very, very small. We're always happy to take on more positions when we can. And then, I'll give you an example. In the November election, for example, for central count, which means all the mail-in ballots, the ballots in the drop box, the ballots that we send to the assisted living centers and early voting, we had nearly 110,000 ballots. And in the state of Wisconsin, we are not allowed to count or open those ballots until election day, which is pretty rare. Most states give you some couple days. And so we hired about 350 staff to help us. And so that it comprises of appointed members from the Democrats, Republicans, community members. They all do an oath. There was hundreds of observers there to make sure that the process was working. And observers play an important role. And so the more I have observers from my city, from Milwaukee, I think that helps balance those that maybe are a little more skeptical. But yeah, it's hundreds of people at central count, thousands of people at the polling locations. About 2,500 people come out to support democracy, and they're all from your community.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
And
Now,
we invite you down to central count on election night.
Do we have a set
See the
location?
process.
Or where it's going to be this year? Or next year, I should say.
Yeah. So, we have central count after every election. Central count and the smaller elections are held at our operations center in Bayview. And then we are working, because the governor's race is going to be hot. There's a lot of people running.
Yeah.
We expect that to be a pretty big turnout. So we are going to be moving somewhere else. We're working on that now.
Okay. I might come out this time.
Okay.
Nice.
You can sign up to work. We would love it.
So, in being a first-class city as big as we are, there's one bill that would allow you all to start counting earlier, but current state law doesn't allow you to officially start counting ballots until polls close. And we've seen around the country, there was definitely some backlash after 2020 of how long it takes to count votes and things of that nature. Just talk about like your insight and your thoughts on the state finally giving you the chance to start counting earlier.
Well, let me give you some background about why this has caused an issue. First of all, we're the city of Milwaukee, and so those on the outside already come a little bit with skepticism. But when you are watching TV on election night, after the polls close, each of our polling locations is getting that information to the county. So as you're watching it, you see the numbers slowly tick, tick, tick up. You're like, okay. And then all of a sudden it stops at about 60, 70%. And that's because central count still has to finish. And then all of a sudden you go to bed, count them all location. And so, most states allow election officials to count earlier. We don't have that here. And I know some members of the state legislature are working really hard to do it. We're waiting for that bill to be introduced. We support a clean bill, which means that it's a bill that only focuses on Monday central count. Sometimes people add a little more stuff in there that we are not comfortable with, but we're waiting to see it. And the mayor has come out support that bill.
On the other end of the break, we'll keep the conversation going. We're listening to V-Voice Radio on WNLP.
AURN. I'm James Jackson. If you're wondering how safe your state is, we report some answers for you. How it helps you annual ranking of America's safest states. And he went crime rate. Researchers per capita, address climate disaster, even economic factors, safety. They broke it down into 5 categories: personal or essential safety, financial safety, road safety, workplace safety, and emergency preparedness. After a Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine. According to all, these states safer and just low crime working roads. Those strong economies that keep people from falling into financial trouble, plus highway place safety. The report also points out that people to join neighborhood watches and work as firefighters with EMTs at higher rates than other states. Where you are in Jackson.
Here's your updated forecast. And blended clouds and some sunshine developing today. Lingering showers early on near 65. Tonight, mainly clear, low near 46. Sunny on Wednesday, near 60. Wednesday night, mainly clear, low near 58. High 62 on Thursday, on sunshine. Thursday, clear to partly cloudy, low near 58. Friday, overnight. I'm just on 88, 60.
Hey, Wisconsin Voices, be a voice radio, where your voice matters. Catch us Monday and Tuesday at 11 a.m. on WNLP 860 AM. Be heard, be informed, be a voice. You're listening to Wisconsin Voices, be a voice radio. Follow us at VA Black Voice or at WisconsinVoices.org.
860 AM 106.5 FM. WNOP. The Voice.
Voice radio.
A little bit better. I was waiting for it, Terrell. Chair. The election Gutiérrez. There you go. All right, cool.
We're talking about the dynamics of the interactions with the state, and you got a major bill that could pass, and it's actually a very simple bill, just allowing the city of Milwaukee or any first-class city really to get an extra 24 hours to start counting ballots.
Okay.
I think that would be the easiest thing, but for the most part, it sounds like and a lot of things can't pass in Madison these days, but I should know, right? I used to work there. But it's very clear that as simple as a change that could be, We still just don't have enough synergy yet. And hopefully we still got a little bit more time in this session. Maybe the stars align to do the simplest, cleanest bill possible, and we get to move on. But I find it funny that those same individuals then cry about, the count to the time that it takes to count the vote is taking too long. Yeah. Well, it's like, give them more time to do it.
Even just to open envelopes a day ahead, to line them up where we could start putting them in the machines to count would be a great help.
Absolutely.
I think it's important to know that most states do this. So it's not like it's not unheard of, right? We can create the system to keep things secure. We have best practices. We can lean on our other partners across the country. So we could get it done. The state just has to get us started.
And then one of the things we also highlighted is that, in 2020, election officials were finding themselves as targets of some of the animosity of individuals that were misplacing their anger, their frustrations. Have things gotten any better for our democracy, where folks that want to help with the process aren't finding themselves as targets?
In 22, it was real rough. People was yelling at us, and I'm yelling at people, and they're yelling at me, and that 22 central count was pretty rough.
I'm just glad you yelled back.
Oh yeah,
they're not gonna punk Terrell.
They're gonna tell me what's going on. So 2022 was a rough central count.
Okay,
but 2024 went smoothly. Just a little mishap that happened with a door being left open on one of the machines, and it was a big thing, but it really wasn't a big thing, because before we came up with this policy that the doors is locked, the door's always been open.
Gotcha.
But in 22, we came up with a new policy or process on how we do our balloting and how we collect information. And part of that was to make sure those doors are locked, but they wasn't locked, and that blew out of proportion. It went nationwide. But other than that, it went real smooth.
Yeah, and I think, for example, people should know in elections, we have multiple security levels. So if one security thing doesn't get followed through, there's other things to make it secure. So at no point was the election in question because of that door issue. But, it's a policy that wasn't followed, and out of overabundance of caution, we did what we did to ensure that the election was fair and transparent. I think, unfortunately, what we really need is those in leadership to bring back decorum, to bring back the fact that no matter what we are, Democrats, Republicans, whatever we look like, Latino, Black, that we are all Americans and we all want democracy. But unfortunately, with social media and with the constant need to keep you angry, they keep villainizing and dehumanizing people. And so we have experienced it directly in elections where people just don't see us as people. When the reality is that if you start talking to your friends and family, you're going to find somebody who's a poll worker. And I will tell you that those that work in elections are some of the most amazing people you will ever meet. Like, they all need to write self-help books. They all need to write leadership books. They are some of the most amazing people you will ever meet. And they're all from your neighborhoods. And so my experience has been that those that are most aggressive and angry are not from our community, not even from our county. They're from other parts of the state.
And some of them not even from the state.
Right. Yeah. We saw a lot of people from other parts of the state in the last election. So I always encourage those that are from the community to come and observe, because the more that you bring them in to get, the more we come together, the less that they have a voice to be aggressive. And our poll workers are amazing that despite all that, they still come to help us on election day. And so I just ask all of you to remember that we're all human and that we all deserve the dignity and respect of, being trusted first as a human, and then we can work out the other details.
Absolutely.
All right, good. All right.
Well,
it's time to wrap it up, huh? Now,
right?
We in the last little 30-second crunch. So, any last?
Well, that was an amazing show, and I just want to shout out the commitment that you all have in your roles, and to this community. Civil servants that are willing to put our democracy, our community above all, so that it's a benefit for everybody. So I'm glad that we got you where we got you. Yeah. National Voter Education Week is done. Well, people should educate themselves. Right.
See y'all next week with our guests. Stay out there.
Enjoy.